right, next up, we got Alex from Skip Chain coming out. Come on out here, Alex. Surprise me with that one, Claude. Seriously, you have a few more minutes. All right. Oh yeah. Don't steal our gear. Come on, man.
Hi everybody. My name is Alex. I'm CEO of Skip Chain project. I'm starting not about crypto. Let's think about the industry which make our life easy and industry more efficient. It's logistics. The logistics around us and all our lives are very reliable for this. As the past 10 years, logistics goes much more efficiently, and what the next revolution coming in is the switch to unmanned. The cargo robotics, it's the next big things in logistics, and the next big selling card for industry. But is it really industry for this? Who can participate in new worlds when all will be unmanned? The stakeholders of this industry is hardware producer, clients, government, financial institutions, insurance, banks, other companies. But who can join all of this if you don't have a pilot or driver? You can imagine you have a car delivery, but it's no man. How you can verify this? How can you verify the road emissions, insurance of these transactions? The Skip Chain is a new platform based on blockchain technology, which can join all stakeholders of unmanned logistics and provide transparent, reliable information and keep transactions for all deliveries for globally. This is especially important for financial institutions because now it's completely unclear how to control the new class of assets as an unmanned system. Who pays for insurance, how distribute the liability. Now it's not exist any operational system which focus for this. We provide the new one, and it's based on our own drone named Skip. We are the first producer of real aerial cargo robots, which already fly. And to have this as a basic platform, we decided to develop open blockchain infrastructure for future unmanned logistics industry. It's a big opportunity for us to using existing drone, which have a real client in heavy industries, many industries, and develop based on this real product, the new operational system. What's the idea of this platform? We issue the limited volume of Skip tokens. It's 1.2 million, and this token will support any transaction in the future system. So any mission registration, any using of missions, any financial transaction will require tokens in the future. But system itself works in real world, so the customer will pay in dollars, euros, and any other currencies. So the volume of customers and number of drones will grow dramatically for the next 3-5 years. And because the number of tokens, initial tokens is fixed, the future price goes up. So it's a clear transaction-based system. The type of transaction, so it's just some examples, but it's maybe unlimited. Multimodal logistics contracts, finance transaction, insurance, hardware verification, and etc. And we think for this purpose, blockchain is the most efficient technology, so it can join independent from any country, government, transparent and reliable, can support this information and transaction. So this idea of our product is again based on current existing drone, which we're using as a pilot platform for our system, but system itself will build open for any third party, not for aerial, but cars, trucks, any other unmanned system which we can make in near future. We start our ICO, pre-ICO with 1st March, and as I told, it's a limited volume of token. 1.2 million tokens will be issued, and that token will use all time for future transactions in the future. You can visit our site and look at the details, and you can see the flight of the first real heavy drone, which can carry more than 200 kilos for many hundred kilometers without man in fully autonomous conditions. So, thank you. I will.
What up, guys? Everybody hear me? Hey, I'm Justin Burns, and I just wanted to personally introduce the next startup. But first, full disclosure, I legally have to say this. So when I came across their WeFunder, I decided to invest. In fact, I literally put an entire Lamborghini worth of money into this company. So just want to make that clear, I own equity. With that said, every once in a while you come across something and you know it's different, right? And for this, that was an epiphany moment for me. When I learned that this company had real hardware, not vaporware, real hardware in mass production today, and then when I learned that they have thousands of users that back them on Indiegogo, not some random exchange speculation. That does not count as users. These are real people in the world with problems that are being solved by a real company. That is so rare in this space right now that it just seemed like a no-brainer. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Bryson Hill, CEO of Dappling.
Hey guys, how you doing? Cool, I'm gonna set this down for a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. You guys know who that is? Who knows who that is? Raise their hand. All right, cool, awesome. So, last night I'm walking out of the hotel, and I look over and there's Ty Lopez. And I'm like, Ty, have you heard of the crypto kid? He's like, who's the crypto kid? I'm like, dude, this guy has lived in a tree house since 2009. He read the Bitcoin white paper, sold everything that he owned, and put it all into crypto. And all this guy does, he's like freaking Warren Buffett. He just sits around and reads white papers and invests in ICOs. Ty's like, wait, like the crypto kid? I gotta meet this guy. So we turn around and there's the crypto kid, Ty Lopez. So Ty Lopez met the crypto kid. Round of applause for the crypto kid. All right, so at Dappling, what do? The quick pitch is that we build hardware for the home, for the general consumer, everyone, all of us, me and you. And what we decided to do 3 years ago was set out to bring home the cloud, bring home our data, bring home the connection to our devices, bring home the connections to the people that we connect with. And we started with this product called Dappling Connect. Dappling Connect is technically a personal server. Just like you have the cloud that is a big, huge data center full of servers, we decided to shrink that down and put it in something that's accessible for everyone and put it inside of the home. And what we did is we decided to add a little bit of storage to it, some stackable storage, something that's easy for people to access. 2 terabytes, 2 terabytes, 2 terabytes, 2 terabytes. You've got 8 to 20 terabytes at home now. And what's the big deal? You take out your phone, you download an app, you plug this baby in, and now you have access to all of your devices and all of your data from wherever you are in the world. But here's how it works. For those of you who are more technical out there, you have a device, it creates a public key, a private key that's stored on the device. That happens here as well. It creates a private connection, a tether, between you and the device. Now you have a cryptographically secure way to know that your devices are talking to each other, rather than being spoofed or talking to some other device out on the internet. Now, why is that a big deal? Because functionally what we've done, this doesn't work, that's fine. Next slide, please. Functionally what we've done is the internet. Recognize that there's something broken about it. We made a bargain. We said, for a little bit of data, you'll serve us an advertisement. We give a little bit of data to Zuckerberg, he gives a little bit of advertisement to us. And in return, we get an awesome service. I'm not saying it's not a great service, but the question is, why? Why do we make that trade compromise? What is really at stake? And I started to look into this, and I came to a really simple conclusion. That because we don't buy connection to our digital life anymore, they own it, plain and simple. So you put this in your home, and now you own your digital life. You own your data, your connections, and everything about it. And it's about freedom. That's why, Dapply. Because now you can own your digital life and own the connections and store the private keys on the device with a physical switch. For those of you who are listening and know what that means, that has some big implications. Because it's a plug-and-play solution for everyone to actually own everything that is a private key now. Their connections, their data, their devices. And that has big implications for this world. But as we built it, we realized there was a huge problem. That there was no central authority. When you buy this baby at Target or Best Buy, in July through August of this year, Dapply doesn't know that it exists when you plug it into your house. We have no connection to it. We have no access to it. It's completely decentralized and distributed. You make direct connections to your friends now. But we realized that now that we have this awesome, decentralized, and distributed system, there was no way for our people, us, to know that these applications that we would download to this device were from the right developer, that they were even good. Was there a rating? And we started to recognize that, well, there's this really simple thing that all of us in this room know about, which is the App Store, right? iPhone's got one, Google's got one, the Play Store, right? So you have this idea of an App Store, but on a decentralized system, there's no central authority who says, this is the true developer, this is the right app, this is the right code repo, it's been peer reviewed. There's no concept of that in a decentralized system. So we have to introduce to the world today DAppCoin, which is a decentralized application protocol built on top of an ERC20 contract that allows developers to submit it on-chain, to say, here's my app. It can be centralized, it can be decentralized, it can be distributed, it can be a blockchain app, it doesn't matter. It can be any type of app. And now that it's on ledger, immutable, unchangeable, politically decentralized, physically decentralized, but centrally, logically centralized, you now can know that this app is legit, that it's good. And you can see the trending apps for decentralized apps. How cool would that be? And so that's what DAppCoin does. When you want to review an app, you burn a coin or a portion of a coin. And you're able to contribute to the authors of those apps, the creators. Just like other systems where you can support creators, you'll now be able to support app creators on top of a real existing hardware solution. Now, we're not saying that we're the only ones that could potentially build hardware. As a matter of fact, I'd love if every single in this person right in this room today stopped what they were doing and built hardware so that we could take back our digital lives. I would love that. And I challenge all of you to do it so that we together can take back the internet. So today I'm introducing the DAppCoin token sale. So go to dappcoin.com, check out the first installment of the white paper. Check out our website, dapply.com, to see what we've already been doing for the last 2.5 years. And go to wefunder.com to check out the opportunity to still invest in Daply, the company that is building this hardware and shaping this movement. That ends tonight. So again, if you're an investor and you're interested in that, we have a regulation crowdfund that allows anyone of any income to participate in buying equity in this movement, in this company, Dapper. And I realized a long time ago, as I started to go through this process, that it's not about me. It's not about you individually. It's about us. It's about us being able to take back what we so freely gave. A quick analogy. A couple hundred years ago, there were some founders in this country. And they established one of the greatest nations on earth. Right? And we are here because of that today. Because of that freedom. I go to other countries, who shall not be named, all the time. And I recognize that they don't have the same freedoms that we do. But one thing that I recognized, the founders didn't know that computers would exist. George Washington wasn't pulling out his iPhone to quickly sign the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution or whatever. He didn't have it. So they didn't know to protect us with a digital right. So today, I announce that we are declaring our independence and our freedom from those who have unknowingly maybe taken it from us. That today, we can take back our digital life. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you, brother. Very cool. All right, next up we got Anthem from Anthem Gold. Come on out here, buddy. Back there somewhere. You get the controller? All right. Make sure you know how to work that stuff.
Well, big thank you to all of you, especially Mo Levin, his entire team. I just got to experience them backstage. They were a lot of fun and very helpful. So thank you all. This is the world's largest Bitcoin cryptocurrency conference. So congratulations, we're all here to experience it. So let's get into it here. I'll tell you a little bit about Anthem Gold. So before I kind of get into it, how many of you in the audience operate a business that accepts cryptocurrency, or you intend to operate a business that accepts cryptocurrency in the next 12 months? Raise, show of hands. All right, a decent amount, maybe like a quarter out there. So I'll assume like maybe half, and the other like quarter maybe are bashful a little bit. So it looks like you all are going to really enjoy this presentation, because what I'm about to talk with you about with Anthem Gold, and I'm going to share with you how I see things here, it's going to, I think, really open up your eyes here, because we're all suffering from the same problem, and that's how do we have a cryptographic asset that is in the same form as Bitcoin, Ether, and all of the crypto assets that we love, but have negative correlation from a price standpoint, like a dollar, but not go to a bank account, right? So, that's really what we're doing here. So we're not launching an ICO, but rather we're launching a gold token that's going to add stability and less volatility to a cryptocurrency environment and an industry that really needs it. So just to put a little bit of perspective, gold trades about $200 billion a day, whereas Bitcoin trades a little under $20 billion a day. So gold trades a little over 10 times more volume than Bitcoin today, and it's a lot more correlated to a dollar, yen, euro than it is to Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, etc. So what we've done here with Anthem Gold is we've created a secure, liquid, fungible way, an insurable way to buy gold in a cryptographic token vehicle. So each bar is backed by a kilogram of bar, of each token, I should say, is backed by a kilogram bar, more specifically 1/1000th of a kilogram bar, because each token, AGLD, each AGLD token is backed by 1 gram of gold. And so this gold is verified specifically by supply chain software that's blockchain software. It's called Hercules. Hercules ensures that the authenticity and quality of the gold is exactly 99.99% fine pure, which is the global standard for gold. So all of the gold itself is held at Anthem Bunker. Anthem Bunker is indeed actually a third party, despite the same first part of the name, which also shares my name as co-founder of both. But it is indeed actually a separate company. All of the gold is housed in Texas, and Anthem Gold itself is a Texas company. So we're very excited about this product. We think we're going to be able to innovate the vaulting industry by applying Hercules supply chain software, and Anthem Bunker and Anthem Gold are both going to be utilizing Hercules supply chain blockchain software, which is itself a separate entity. So just to get into the tech a little bit, we are super humbled, excited, and grateful to be able to work with the Edge team and Paul Pui and his amazing team. And you might know them from Airbits, their prior name. So, or their current name, you could say, for their Bitcoin wallet, but they've enhanced and rebranded to show that they've enhanced their wallet with multi-token ability. So we're excited to private label with Anthem Gold. And we have mobile in development. If you go to anthemgold.com right now, you'll be able to see the team there, led by our CTO, Logan Galema, has done an excellent job. Really proud of that. So you can go check that out right now if you'd like. You can kind of get a little sneak peek here on stage. So fairly intuitive, secure wallet, proven. You hold the private keys, so it's secure in that sense. So very excited and honored to work with Edge. So just to get into Hercules a little bit, to explain how these gold bars are exactly authenticated, because at the end of the day, one of the reasons why Bitcoin was invented was because people always steal gold bars. And so how do we now say we have a blockchain that is going to be able to somehow work with gold tokens? So what Hercules does in essence is enable all vendors along its supply chain, so in this case Anthem Gold supply chain, that use the Hercules software. It allows them all to gauge and determine their immediate needs based on real-time demand information. And here is the really best part, in my opinion. So any vendor that applies Hercules, irrespective if they're one chain deep along the supply chain, upstream or downstream, anyone along the gold supply chain, the Anthem Gold case, that applies the Hercules supply chain will be able to gauge future demand needs. So it's like X-ray vision. So as opposed to, let's say, traditional SAP, Oracle, for example, Manhattan Associates, any of the dozens of supply chain software centralized suites out there that you have one link ability, typically you have all this vulnerability, as we know, with all the data breaches, Equifax, Deloitte, etc., that we all know about, and the ones that we don't know about. So we know how vulnerable supply chain software is today by all the data breaches. And so Hercules sets to fix those issues. So we'll get into it a little bit here in terms of how Hercules can prove custody, because really Hercules is key in terms of being able to trust Anthem Gold and differentiate it from, I don't know, at least the 36 other purported gold, silver, and metal, quote-unquote, crypto tokens I've seen press releases for in the last 3 years or so. So we'll get into that a little bit here. We're really excited to be working with other public blockchain software solutions, which we think is integral to any good, well-purposed, well-utility public blockchain. We're working with the teams at Factum and Storage, and also IPFS communities in terms of using their software suite solutions, and we'll get into a little bit about how we do that. So, in essence, here we have a little illustration that basically shows kind of what's going on here and kind of simplify things a little bit. So, again, as mentioned, each AGLD token is backed by 1/1000th of a kilogram bar, and we've got a viewfinder and kind of browser ability that we're building in to make it easy to audit. Oops. So here we've got a fun illustration that describes Hercules verifying the supply chain, kind of, a little bit esoterically there, and we'll get into it here a little bit more. So here we have what we call the 8760 protocol that verifies specifically the authenticity of the gold bars on a continual 365 24/7 basis, 365 times 24 times 7, hence 8760, and goes to show that the gold bars are continuously real and are what they say they are. So in terms of how this actually works, we have these global value chain modules, so to speak, so information stored in IPFS, so a form of data storage, We use this 8760 protocol as mentioned, and this really cool the distributed blockchain-based cloud storage solution called Storage, S2RJ. And we have reference files that are stored in a notary public blockchain called Factum, which is a cost-effective way to secure your information in the Bitcoin blockchain, but without having to spend all of that money on Bitcoin. So here's a little sneak peek from the business standpoint of Hercules, a supply chain software app. And I think the really cool thing, and just really neat this aspect, basically what we've done with Hercules is we've made auditing fun, and we've made it relatable by having groups of people play games. But really what they're doing, they're playing games they're already playing, but they're simultaneously auditing information. So we call this human intuition picture recognition, or hyper. So this is revolutionizing not just supply chain, but also auditing and also the video game industry. So just to go through a little bit more basic, what's happening here, a game is being played. It's kind of like a CAPTCHA, I am not a robot. You might have recognized that on Google before or other popular websites proving that you're not a robot, you're not a bot. And so that's exactly what's going on here. Best practices, all publicly traded accounting, accounted for companies require third-party individuals that audit information. That's what Hyper does, except it does it on dozens and dozens or hundreds of bases. So the auditing is always correct. It's always 100%. It's done in groups of people in real time. So we have an awesome advisory board here: Joby Weeks, Bill Barhyde, Andrew Yashkov, Michael Turpin, Dominic Zenas, and Steve Dack. So very, very illustrious group of people in their own rights in the industry. We're really grateful to have them on our team as advisors. And key management here. Logan, what happened to you? So Cynthia, my co-founder, president, and stunning wife, and Logan, our CTO. Josh Garrison, admin, crypto admin excellent. Ray Javisi, chief visual officer. Brian French, who's our awesome director of vaulting at Anthem Vault. Michael Nelson, our chief strategy officer, and our awesome general counsel, Paul Aubert. I come from a legacy of helping to provide people with freedom and choice in currency and denationalization of currency, and really appreciate everybody's time. So check us out. I think we're booth 29. Go into the exhibit hall, about 3 rows into the right. So thank you all again.
Anthem Gold, guys. Anthem Gold. Thank you. We're going to hand that right to Steven. Steven O, come out here from Fuse X. Your next speaker. All right, it's all you, buddy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephen O from FuseX. First of all, thank you so much for your support. Yesterday and today, we cringed about it. We ran out of all business cards and brochures just first 5 hours for your supporting and bring the pension. That was excellent. That was. I'm here to introduce the revolutionary payment solution for cryptocurrencies as well as fiat currencies, not just for cryptocurrencies. The biggest challenges of cryptocurrencies nowadays is the dilemma. It's so good to have, but on the other side, it's so difficult to spend. We're focusing on solving that issues. How? So let me introduce first generation of our smart card. This FuseX card we introduced last year. It can contain up to 30 different either credit card or debit card, reward card, point card, ID card, whatever you want. And we store that and then pay through the marketing stripe, EMV chip, NFC. So we sold 25,000 copies and shipped to the customers in 192 countries. That was a big success. And then leveraging on that success, now we introduce FuseX card. On the top of debit, credit, reward card, point card, now cryptocurrencies payment. Let me introduce 4 key factors of FuseX. It consists of a FuseX digital card. This actual size is actual credit card size. And the thickness is 0.3 inches, 0.83 millimeters. With this SIM card contains 150 small components. So that's why it's so difficult. That's why point class T, swipe, everyone just gave up. We are the number one introduce product into the market. Actually, people using it. So, this complicated FuseX wallet now has 4 features. You can use a real-time exchange rate, which means go to your store and you choose cryptocurrencies at the real-time exchange rate you can spend with existing POS machine, right? How? Combined, we can show more detail on later on, but next one, it is secure because we segment your private keys into 2 pieces. One in mobile wallet, the other one is actually physical card. So this creates 2-factor authentication. So we are very secure. Later on, we have a video demos, but I'm not sure. I tested that second video is not working, but I can explain a little bit more later. Now, this is simple. Based on the e-paper screens, you can choose, navigate, payment, select payment card options. You can do that. You can just select navigate, change the mode, cryptocurrencies, credit card, payment card, and then reward card, point card, blah, blah. You can navigate that. And this one is very smart. You can store up to 15 different cryptocurrencies. Even though you have less than, that's okay. You can up to 15 cryptocurrencies and then 10 different either credit card, debit card, reward card points. Now, let me introduce actual demos. Here, we showing FuseX, and then we actually make transactions, payment transactions in the background. Let's go together. So here, that product has, back side of this card has dynamic magnetic stripes, which means actually whenever you choose payment card, you'll change dynamically magnetic stripe data in there. So you can pay with magnetic stripe with your whatever payment. And then it does have EMV chips, like I said, and NFC also possible. This e-paper, small e-paper, so you can see the transaction balance on there too. And batteries. So on disconnected mode, it can go up to 2 months. That is my personal testing experience. So, and then it's connected all time connected mode, it goes up to at least 5 days. But good thing is, at chargers, you can do charging with single charges in 30 minutes. You can do the single charge can go next another 2 months. That's great. So with these factors, you can actually make your cryptocurrency payment real happen. So next one, second video is unfortunately we cannot play, but money transfer. With your wallet, with your cryptocurrencies, when you select from the mobile app, the cryptocurrencies you want to transfer to, you can just scan the QR code, right? Here, I can show you a little bit. Oh, there you go. So you can see mobile wallet, back button is making it work. Okay. So you can select either fiat currencies or cryptocurrencies. You can choose that, and they just scan the QR code you want to send it to, right? Then in the confirm, in the card itself, we say are you confirming that? So this way, actually, when you confirm both places, make transfer transaction happen. This prevents unauthorized transfer activities from hackers or any other unauthorized activities. You can protect your wallet. Okay? Next, let me introduce our team. We have a really strong hardware background. Our CEO, he already worked with BlackBerry optical pad, and then that company went to the IPO in Korea in South Korea. We have great success experience. And then CTO coming from Samsung Electronics, everyone knows, he does have a vice president experience coming into our team. We're building up the co-working for the last 3 years, making strong teams. And most of the other things coming from the card payment processing industry. We have tons of card payment manufacturing, personalization, business experience. So we are in the ICO. We had a great success for the private ICO. We already reached to the 50% of our hard cap, which is 40,000 ethers. We reached more than 20,000 ethers yet. We just opened pre-ICO. So please visit our website, FuseX, and then you can join to Slack or Telegram. More than welcome. We're happy to bring these products together to the market. Thank you so much.
All right, Stephen O! Very nice. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Everybody always wants to steal this. I'm keeping an eye out. Are you guys having a good time? We're learning a lot of stuff here. I mean, we're not going, not like, yeah, we're having a good time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little fireside chat here. We're trying to get a bonfire here. Apparently, fire marshals thought that was uncomfortable at the time. So we're going to get them out. Stacy and Charlie right here. Take it away, guys. Have a good conversation and let them know.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, hi, Stacy.
Charlie. So actually, who here watches Kaiser Report? All right. Who here knows Charlie Shrem? Okay. Who here bought Bitcoin before Mt. Gox? When Mt. Gox was still alive?
All right.
So most of you are new to Bitcoin. No? So, a lot of people, Charlie, right now, the big thing is this FOMO, fear of missing out.
There's a lot of FOMO out there.
Did people miss out? If they didn't buy Bitcoin in 2012,
This,
did they miss out?
this is the early stages of the crypto economy, the crypto infrastructure. This is it. If you're involved now, it's as if you were, hacking away on one of those old computers in the 90s. And I was still, even the 80s. This is like the early adoption phase by far. And it's pretty crazy. A lot of people are getting involved nowadays, and there's a lot of projects, a lot of people doing different things. You look at the top coins and tokens by market cap by 300, the top 300, and there are a lot of different things going on. And people decide, like, what am I going to get involved in? What am I going to do? And I had a really great conversation with a good friend of mine last night. And shout out to the South Africans that are here, and shout out to the Slovenian community as well. But I was talking to a friend of mine, and he reminded me why I got into crypto.
When did you get involved?
I got involved in crypto sometime around 2010, 2011. And I got involved in this for purely ideological reasons. I understood what was going on. I was studying economics in college, and I understood what was really going on in the global financial ecosystem, how it's a house of dominoes. And I was saying to myself, for so many years I've read like, end the Fed, end the Fed, end the Fed. I'm like not a violent person. I don't want to really end anything. So I said, like, what if someone actually created a whole new system that's better, and voluntarily, through a market-based economy, through a system, and allow people to use our system better, right? Competition is always a good thing. And so that's why I got involved, to create a better system.
I mean, it's quite obvious today that it's a better system, but at that time, it wasn't.
No, it was not. It was a very difficult system. But it was like we saw in the future. And a lot of early guys who got involved for the same reasons. So this friend of mine I was talking to last night, he got involved because he was born in Zimbabwe, and he was involved in the Asian Civil War, and what happened was the government there took all of his land. They just woke up one day and they said, you know what, we're taking all the landowners, all the farmers are taking their land away because we want to. And it happened taking away gold. In Australia they did it. They take India even a few weeks ago. They just said, hey, we're going to take the banknotes away from you.
They demonetized.
And this is not a guy who doesn't understand the financial systems. He's built the central bank software for over 13 central banks, so he understands. And he looked at me and he says, that whole financial system is a house of cards. It's going away within the next 10 years.
Now, well, speaking of house of cards and having things taken, one thing I tell to friends all the time is, I have friends who are like, I can't believe you told me about Bitcoin when it's $4 and I didn't buy any and I don't have any.
You would have sold at 8.
Exactly. Or, like, people don't understand this, but your Bitcoin and stuff like used to just be stolen or lost so easily
So
back
easily.
then.
I sent someone, someone put a Bit Instant theme song on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. Here's 5 Bitcoin just for fun. But I accidentally sent him 50, and I told him to keep it.
No.
Like, but this was, Bitcoin was like $1, so who cares, This was.
Well, that's the other thing as well is have you seen him since and like take him down?
He's gone. No, he's living on an island somewhere.
He's like no longer your friend.
Costa Rica or something.
This notion, something else that's totally new, even though the phrase was invented like a few years ago, hodl.
Yeah.
So this notion of holding and never using your Bitcoin and never transacting. When we were first involved in Bitcoin, I remember thinking like, wow, I told my husband, look, I just bought an iPhone and like I just sent them 10 Bitcoin and they sent me an iPhone. How cool is that? And now it makes me sick to think
I know. So the whole thing is a hodl. But the funny part, for those of you guys don't know, in the crypto space, when things like what happened last week, the price is dumping, everyone's saying like hold. There's a funny thing in the crypto space where it's hodl, H-O-D-L. So what had happened was, when the Bitcoin price was dumping from like $500 to $200, some guy went on the Bitcoin Talk forums and said like, I'm drunk, my wife is out, with some other guy, the Bitcoin price is dropping right now, but I'm hodling, I don't even know what I'm saying, I kept spelling it wrong, and it was like this like drunk tirade.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and I go back and read that sometimes, and it's just like a reminder that like, things will always be better in a week from now. Just wait it out.
And it might also be clearer because all those early days. Now, when we have first covered Bitcoin on Kaiser Report, apparently, so the coin was at $2 and something. And one of the first comments in that 2011 episode where we interviewed John Matonis, somebody was like, why are they pushing this scam? Look at it, 21 million coins? That means some guy has conned you out of 50 million bucks. That was the market cap back then.
Yeah.
And then the next episode we did about it a month later, the price had gone to 11 and then crashed to 3.
Oh my God, I remember that crash.
Yeah. Well, people were like sending us death threats. I put my life savings into this shit coin at 11 bucks. And like, what did you con me into? So,
there was a scene in Making on Bitcoin on Netflix, our documentary, where Nick Spanos in New York was giving out flyers about Bitcoin, and some lady, and the price was I think $1,000, and the lady was like, yeah, this is a scam. He's like, it's up $200 this week. She goes, talk to me next year. And next year, look, now where are we at? $12,000 right now, so laughed at her all the way to the bank or whatever.
but so you never know, what it's going to look like in a year or two. Like, certainly when all those, once I got my head around Bitcoin, and it took 2 years to understand what the hell what this even was that I had, and we had done the first Bitcoin conference in 2011. Nobody really knew what it was.
So back then it was so this is the coolest part that I think in the space. It's like back then it was Bitcoin, and then they said, oh, we're gonna launch there's some other ones like Namecoin and Ethereum and some of these really early ones that a lot of them didn't succeed. And people were huge maximalists, and myself included. And I kind of have to take a step back and say to myself, Charlie, right now, if I'm trying to spread Bitcoin too thin and have Bitcoin do everything, it's like, you ever get a bagel and not have enough cream cheese to spread in your bagel? The bagel's not good.
That's such a New York thing.
Think about it, it's real. Like, you go to Starbucks, you buy a bagel, you have to get 2 cream cheese. So you have all these projects that I'm involved in, I advise, and I'm very public about my holdings. I even post what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and even our new company, Crypto IQ, we talk about the things that we're buying and selling. There's so many different projects now. They're doing so many different things. Yes, okay, maybe we are in a dot-com bubble, everyone's always, but don't forget, out of that whole dot-com bubble, you had the pets.com and all these crappy ones, but you still have the Googles, the Amazons, you still have the really amazing ones. And if I could advise and invest and be involved in like 15 of them, but only 2 of them succeed, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna invest in what people call scam coin. I don't care. I wanna try to create transparency, integrity, and be involved in as many projects as I can to see what works.
That's one thing I've kind of learned too, is like, at this moment in time, before all the regulators and all the big players come in, like just to experiment and try, and who knows, like as long as you don't gamble anything that you can't afford to lose.
I'm playing with my own money, so I mean, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've lost the time just as much as I made it, so I mean, it's just the way it is.
Now, the other big thing this year, it's been around for a while, but this year saw the 2017 saw the explosion of the initial coin offering.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I know, you were very young when you entered the Bitcoin space, and you had BitInstant, and you ended up getting arrested. And,
Yeah.
There are some dangers. Like a lot of people seem to think like, oh.
No, it's not. It's they know, the government knows everything. You gotta be careful, you gotta have good lawyers, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing. And at the end of the day, if you're just launching a token on Ethereum with no real like utility or value, and if you're just using it to like raise money or securitize some asset, you're not doing the right thing unless you register it with the SEC in this country. So what a lot of these projects are doing is they're actually like building out their own platforms and building out their own blockchains and creating really cool, like, InsurePal doing insurance projects and GBT and all these projects and Salt with doing loans.
Yeah.
I was talking to Sean from Salt today. They have $1 billion of loans pending. People who want to put their Bitcoin and Ether and Salt tokens into smart contracts and take out loans against them. Think about how crazy that is, how radical that is. It's unbelievable. So I mean, these projects that are doing these things, sports platforms, it's unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, what I always try to look at is like, who are the team? What are their ability to execute? What are they doing? Have they had past success? Where do they live? Do they have their faces on their website? Because I don't want someone running away with my money. Lord knows that's happened to me so many freaking times. Where I have guys in Australia sitting on like crazy amounts of Bitcoin from the early days of mine. They just ran away with, crypto exchange, Mint Pal, and Cryptsy, and Mt. Gox. And so I never want to see that happen to anyone because it's happened to me.
I don't think it really happens as much anymore. It's not as because it's so much bigger.
Yeah,
but
so much.
people don't really understand that if you didn't experience it, just run off with your Bitcoin. They had an exchange, and then
What were you going to do? You're going to call the police and say, yeah, someone stole my magic internet money. And they didn't, you couldn't do it. They didn't listen to you. They laugh at you and hang out. Sorry, you're, stupid. But we have more important things to deal with right now. So you really were like, for lack of a better term, shit out of luck back then. But you know what? I guess it's the pioneers, the early ones that go through the door that are the ones that are shot first, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy going out west or like doing it, and a lot of people made mistakes and got hurt and did stupid things, and the ones that are still involved in the space today, I try to give extra attention to because I know these are the guys that really worked hard. And in the early days, none of us made money. I want to do a documentary and talk to like all these CEOs of these exchanges and these like billionaires now and all these guys. We all had day jobs before. Like I had stupid electronic. I sold cameras like on the internet, and like some people were photographers, and I washed dishes, and we all had other jobs. We did crypto. Like I started BitInstant in my parents' basement. I had a real job. I left to. This wasn't a money-making opportunity for us. We got involved in this.
Plus, you almost lost it anyway, even though it wasn't like that much.
You were losing money, but it was just fun and it was exciting. And I remember this conference a few years ago. I don't know, like Jason King and Mo jumped in the pool at the Versace mansion and we got kicked out. And then I was supposed to speak at this event a few years ago, and I wasn't here. And Mo walks out on stage and he said, "Yeah, Charlie was arrested today." And it was it was the day at this conference.
Really?
Yeah, it was that last year this time. What day is it today? January something, right?
Oh, the
19th. So I got arrested January 25th, 2014. It was the day this conference was, that in 2014. And it was crazy.
Now, another thing I want to bring up is we talked about all these early days. It was quite fun, and everybody was friends, and we all had a Bitcoin separate club, and it was like 20 of us all the time, and now everybody hates each other. So,
You know, I don't think we hate each other.
All this, like, is it good? Is it good for anti-fragility of Bitcoin? Is this like the biggest, greatest minds fighting rank, and we're gonna?
We talk about immutability,
Yeah.
and we talk about the ability for no one party or one person to control blockchain, or to, like, in essence, at a very basic level, what clicked with me, what I fell in love with blockchain technology was I saw a censorship-resistant ledger system that I can send value or even information on it to someone else, and there's not one party, corporation, government, or person that can reverse that, alter that, change that. And for me, that was like mind-blowing, because this broke essentially the Byzantine general's problem. So when you have all these different personalities in the crypto space, that kind of helps its immutability, because no one party will agree on something. That's actually a good thing. You want people to butt heads, you want people to have differences of opinions, because if we all agreed on everything, then nothing would really get done.
Well, some people say, yeah, I mean, so some people are concerned about, all the forks happening.
Sure.
And people are predicting there are going to be more forks soon. I saw like Bitcoin Gold. I didn't even know I had this Bitcoin Gold. I didn't know about this thing.
There's Bitcoin Diamond now, Bitcoin Platinum.
I thought that was fake.
Oh, that was fake?
I don't know. I thought it was a scam going.
These are all experiments. A lot of them are like these get-rich-quick schemes type of thing. A lot of these projects are laying the actual groundwork for crypto. I mean, you look at you just went on this whole roadshow with Dash. I mean, that's Dash doing that guerrilla marketing for crypto. It's introducing people to crypto. And once people get into cryptocurrency, whether it's with Dash or with Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin, they're in the space now. And they need to become a developer. They'll maybe jump to a different project. So any project that's doing this and that's going out there and contributing to the economy as a whole, amen to that. I love it.
And I think like that really right now it seems like it's still the pre-Cambrian sort of explosion. So many, like there's really no idea, like you can't come up with that is too absurd. And to come up with Bitcoin Diamond,
Yeah.
come up with your own fork and do whatever. If you think that you have a better idea, or you think you know better, you could just try to do better than.
No one can really call you a scam. You're not taking someone's money, you're giving them money.
Well,
So-
people still don't understand that for the most part. Like, a lot of people still think, like, if you create a coin, and even anybody can mine it, that they still think it's a scam that you've created some vast.
I don't have the super maximalists that are always exist on the fringe or whatever. I mean, and there's a place for them too, because these guys are die-hard crypto enthusiasts, and they've been around for so long. So I respect everyone.
And so, what do you think about the whole regulatory, you've encountered the regulatory environment, as we mentioned, but right now, it doesn't seem like any single country, like China will start to ban it.
And then Korea, it's like an orchestra, up and down, and then India's one day and
like
another day.
Germany is saying global regulation needed. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think it's physically possible.
Yeah.
Like as Roger Ver says, as much as I don't agree with him, I still have an immense amount of respect for him. As he says, like, in order to shut down the crypto ecosystem, in order to shut down Bitcoin, you have to shut down every computer on the internet. You have to shut down every computer in the world. That's really how you do it. There's no physical way. There are no ways to identify cryptocurrency traffic versus regular internet traffic. And other countries have actually tried to limit their users' internet, like during certain revolutions, you see the internet has been cut off or whatever. But there's always ways to connect other computers, whether it's satellites. Hell, you can do blockchains over pigeon carrier. There are always ways to do it.
So why don't you tell some stories from early Bitcoin for those people who weren't around, and any sort of interesting stories that you had. Like, I always tell the story, like, we sat next to Vitalik when I think he was like 16 or 17,
Yeah.
and we were like, who's this, like, sweet little geek?
I remember we went to, like,
magazine.
I took Vitalik to get lobster one day in New York, and like he just like was like looking at it. What do I do with it?
What is this?
But no, well, like the other day, whenever I'm like watching the Bitcoin price pop, like go up or whatever price, and we talked earlier, like you can never have regrets, because if you have regrets, then it's face. And I just like, and I try not to do it, but I'll go and I'll search my old emails, and I'll see like emails where, hey, I have 50,000 Bitcoin for sale at 10 cents. Do you want to buy it? You know, and I'm like, oh, why
No
don't I do
way.
that? Well, like, and one time, me, Ira Miller, Eric Voorhees, E.K. Sukenik, and a bunch of other guys, Justin Blinko was there, all the guys from Shapeshift, and this was pre-Shapeshift. We all like to play poker at the BitInstant offices, and our pot was like 20 Bitcoin or whatever. And there was one time where like we had it on a wallet, and I think I lost the address or the private key, or I exited the page, or whatever. Like I'll get you back next week. 20 Bitcoin.
Max and I were saying, like, remember when you would go to these Bitcoin conferences and people would be handing out crypto cards? Like, here's like 5 Bitcoin.
No.
Just scratch it off.
People were giving out the Cassatius coins
Yeah.
at conferences, and those coins have 1 Bitcoin on them, even 5 Bitcoin on them, and now their value is crazy. Like my ring, I have this Bitcoin ring made of silver, and there's a private key on the back. And listen, everyone, it's bit 38 encrypted, but I don't keep anything on it anymore because it's too dangerous to do that. It's just for fun now. Like you guys can have it. There's nothing on it. I posted the address on my website that you can check. Well, I can't walk around with money on this anymore because it's just like Bitcoin's actually worth something now. So.
Yeah. So, but any other stories from your early days in Bitcoin? Because you were very early. So I can't believe you got in at 2000. You said 10?
2000 something. So officially,
How
I
did
think
you
like
know it was like something?
my first forum post I think was in 2011. But I was hanging out in the IRC. So like back then, the only places to actually talk about Bitcoin was in the IRC chat rooms. And so for those who are a little bit older or been around the internet space for a while, IRC's Internet Relay Chat, and that's where you'd open up a terminal window, or you'd download one of the clients, and you'd IRC.freenode, and you'd log in and join the Bitcoin Dev channel or Bitcoin OTC, and that's where everyone would talk. And what happened was actually I used to hang out. When I was a kid, I used to hang out in Evil Zone. Evil Zone was something evil about it. It was like this pseudo strict kitty hackers that I used to call myself, and we used to hang out. And one day this guy came in and he said, hey, check out this Bitcoin thing. And I said, what is this? And he says, well, download it and I'll send you. So I'm like, all right, I'm downloading a program that some guy gives me an IRC chat room. It's like 16 virus scans. But so I downloaded the software and I gave him my address over the IRC, and all of a sudden some like 1,000 Bitcoin popped into my wallet, and I said, all right, so what's this? Just like a downloadable version of PayPal? And he said, no. He explained to me that basically when he sent me that transaction, not only did the database on my computer, this actual database, physical database, a blockchain file. Not only is it in real time adding the transaction that he sent to me, but it's also adding the transaction that someone else sent to someone else. Like the total of 10 people that are actually sending Bitcoin transactions back then. And the other people who have, the 6 other people who have the software on their computers, my transaction is now on their database too, in real time. And then what happens is every few minutes, there's a confirmation. You guys who are mining this thing, getting 50 Bitcoin a block to mine, are confirming it and then locking it in, and it's being relayed in real time to everyone's databases and I said, wow, so basically you're telling me that all these people have their computing power together. We'd be mining on CPUs, it wasn't even GPU mining, it was computer. You could open up your MacBook Pro, or MacBook for that matter, and actually mine Bitcoin and get a lot of it. So all these people who have their software running, if I wanted to reverse the transaction that I just sent to you, I need to have 51% more computing power than the whole system as a whole. And he said, yeah. And I said, that's freaking crazy. Like that's unbelievable. Like, and just it hit me. wow, like forget transactions. What about, like, let's throw Wikipedia on the blockchain. Let's throw everything. Let's create a
Right,
block
you were
system.
way ahead of it.
Oh, I was just thinking, like, how crazy is this? Well, don't forget, like, during this time, there were all these revolutions. The Arab Spring wasn't happening yet, but there were a lot of these independence movements, and governments were shutting off the internet and doing different things and limiting people's abilities.
That was in 2011.
And,
it was Arab.
and my family actually fled. My family in the 60s, this is before the internet, but you know, my family fled. We came to America, and we were because we were Jewish, and all the Arab countries didn't like us being there anymore. So my grandfather told me what was happening in these countries back then. But now with the internet, so in those days, you know, you couldn't get information in and out. You have to build little cubbies in your shoes to get like even a little note out, you know, of these countries. And now with the internet and information is being able to, you know, go across borders. But then what these governments were doing was actually shutting down the internet, like actually shutting us down. But before even they were doing that, they were limiting people's abilities to access Wikipedia or to access Facebook and Twitter and things like that. And now with cryptocurrency and with blockchain technology, you can't do that anymore. That was amazing.
One thing I want to say also that's kind of new compared to the early days is there are a lot of ways to earn crypto now, from like things like Steemit or Storm Token. Like there are loads of things that you can now earn crypto without having to go through the stress of like
just by being smart and having good ideas and good predictions. There's so many different ways to get involved. Tons of jobs, tons of opportunities. Don't quit school, but get a side job in crypto while you finish school. And really, like, this is an amazing community. An amazing community. It doesn't matter who you are, the color of your skin, the gender, anything. If you're involved in the cryptocurrency space, you are a human being first, and we all love each other, and I love it.
I met a 21-year-old outside who's retired.
You retired at 21 years old?
Retired at 21. Watched the show at 16 years old and loved it going, so he's retired.
I'm gonna go watch your show again and make sure I listen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Jeremy and Stacy! Guys, that was really awesome. Thank you so much. That was really awesome. That's some history right there, ladies and gentlemen. You think about this, only 7 years ago. Oh my God. All right, listen, we got another speaker coming out right now. So, not these guys, they're just here to change the furniture. And I'll see you in my place later. I have an ottoman that definitely needs to be changed. All right, so let's bring up Gabriel Abed from BIT, from the island of Barbados, ladies and gentlemen. You can use your own mic, brother.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gabriel. I'm from the island of Barbados. And this is my fourth conference here. And what's incredible is that every time I come back here, it seems to be a fresh set of faces. Over the last 4 years, one of the things that were critical was having heart in the space. And yesterday, I arrived at the conference and I met this young man that started telling me his story, and I saw a sparkle in his eyes. And he was explaining the intimidation, and you know, a lot of people in this space right now have a lot of egos. They've accomplished so much, and he's now starting. And it got me thinking. So I messaged Mo this morning, and I said, you know, Mo, I could do my typical presentation on central bank digital dollars and how we went about getting a central bank to create the world's first peer-to-peer cash. But instead, I'm going to tell a story on the past, the present, and the future. So this is for the young entrepreneurs out there with the sparkles in their eyes. So BIT started with a mission to provide financial inclusion to every last man, woman, and child within the developing world. And it formed because of an understanding of the Caribbean market, where we were born and raised. And one of the major, or some of the major critical issues in the region are from high settlement times, high fees, increasing barriers to entry, and a plethora of problems that affected the ability to get paid within the region of the Caribbean markets. As a matter of fact, in some cases, it's not possible to receive payments in that market. Our slogan was to empower people. So BIT started with a group, a vision, a mission, and some grit. And in 2014, we partnered with a company called Alpha Point to bring an exchange to the Caribbean region. And we launched it that year. At our first conference here in 2014, we actually came as bi.tt because we couldn't afford bit.com. The central bank, we had an idea for taking the blockchain technology, using the overlay protocol, and allowing a central bank to create a digital version of their national fiat currency. The central bank would not engage us within